This is the agenda for my 45 minutes with you today. And I'll start with who I am. Then I will introduce a bit about our organization, Kardex and Kardex Autostore. And then we share with you the Autostore story for Sports Conrad. And then we'll talk about the future of retail logistics and some of the innovations from Kardex. But before I go any further, this is the QR code. So you might want to scan this and then prepare your sets of questions for me. All right? All right, so my name is Sierra. I am from Kardex. I work in the Autostore team. I am with the industrial engineering background, but I spent majority of my career in the construction business. And then I went back into my industrial engineering background, which is now with Kardex in the intralogistics. Okay. So Kardex is a Swiss-listed company. We have about 2,400 employees in the organization. Specifically in Asia Pacific, we are in Australia, China, Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, and Korea. We are a listed Swiss company, and we have a global presence. So we are not just a system integrator, but we are also a solution provider, and we actually do provide the end-to-end solution, including the maintenance part of the business. Okay. So in Asia Pacific, we other than Autostore, we also have the Ramstar solution here in the Asia Pacific. So what is Autostore, right? Autostore is a high-performance space-saving storage solution. We call it the Automated Storage and Retrieval System, ASRS. So our topic today will be mostly on the Autostore. So Autostore is a company on its own, and we, Kardex, are one of their partners, and we are the system integrator. We've been with them since 2021. Collectively, as a whole, the Kardex Autostore team members, we are about 350 years of experience in intralogistics. Okay, collectively as a team. Okay, we have completed to date 1,300 projects worldwide, mostly in Europe, Australia, in Asia Pacific too. Okay, we are one of the fastest growing partners for Autostore. Okay. So, let me share with you this automation. It's about the Autostore, the working principle
Maximize
of
your
it.
throughput with cube storage. Considered the world's densest order fulfillment solution, Autostore attains unrivaled efficiency by stacking storage bins in a cubic configuration that maximizes space and productivity. Powered by our proprietary software, the system constantly optimizes bin locations. We call this bin preparation or bin digging. As multiple orders come into the system, Autostore is constantly evaluating the queue and streamlining delivery based on bin cell locations. This type of preparation keeps the operators busy and ensures minimal time to complete orders. Here's how it works. The robot retrieves a bin by lowering its gripper plate into the stack, grabbing the bin with its grippers, and lifting it to the grid surface. The gripper plate can be lowered all the way down to the bottom of any stack. From there, the robot presents the bin to a human at an Autostore workstation who picks the requested item. Every time a bin is presented, it returns to the top of the grid. Bins containing high-demand products stay on top, while bins with less popular items find their way to the bottom as other bins below are requested at workstations. In this way, the system naturally adapts to continuously changing events, accelerating the fulfillment process and always optimizing flow of order movement. To sum it all up, the Autostore system is often the perfect picture of a slotted warehouse, with A movers on top and C movers at the bottom. So there's no need to think about slotting ever again. Sometimes there will be a request for a bin found on the lowest level of the grid. This bin only takes 3 minutes and 36 seconds to retrieve and move to the workstation.
So, is intralogistics sexy? I think so. Anyway, that's Autostore. So with that, we bring you to the one of the success story of a customer that has a lot of challenges with their operation. The company name is Sports Conrad. Okay, and they gain the efficiency and optimization with Autostore. So it's a company from Germany, established in 1897. I keep saying 1987. It's 1897. So it's about 150 years old, with 220 employees. Okay, they are operated in. They are based in Bavaria area, and majority 60 to 65% of their sales is from the brick and mortar business, and then they have the e-commerce, which is the marketplace that serves a global level. Okay, they have a warehouse, two-story warehouse, 3,500 square feet, with one distribution center. Okay, so their challenges, if I have to list it out, these are the challenges, right? They have the order management problem. Okay, it's not just fulfilling the e-commerce, but also in the stores. They have the receiving problems, which is basically when you receive stocks, you need to put this away. They have a problem with that too. And then they have, with all this, cascade down to then customer satisfaction. After all, we're in the business. Customers is important, right? And they have the problem with the customer satisfaction level, which is basically how you actually ensure that your order is delivered on time, even when you come to store, that we actually have those items for you. Okay. And all this adds up to them how much space they have. Because it's a lot of manual operations, so then space, it takes up a lot of space, inefficient usage of space, that leads to then, it's just cascade down, right? Which is then decline customer satisfaction, receiving problems, order management problem. Okay. In addition to that, there is the complexity about how you package your material, your items to serve and to send to the customers. And then the working hours. So they are specialized in winter product. Okay. So their items are very unique. It's bulky, it's big, and during the winter peak season, they have high orders of all the winter gears, including skis-related items. And then in the summer, it's lower, but summer they have another challenges, which is then the bicycles. Bicycles means you need to have the accessories, which is helmet, gloves, you name it. Yeah. And to cope with this extended working hours, because of the sales coming from the winter season, then they need to have people working extra hours and including hiring extra help. In this part of the world, I think working 5.5 days, 6 days, we're used to it. But look, this is a European company, so please understand that work-life balance is really cool over there, yeah? All right, so then that's the economics, welfare of the people, yeah? They need to walk 25 kilometers just to fulfill some of the activities for the employer and for the customers. And then there's a lot of various tasks. And we will have a video for you to look on this, which is here. All right? It's about 2 minutes. It's in German, but we have translation for you guys.
Sport Konrad ist ein Sportartikelhändler im bayerischen Voralpenland. Das Besondere an uns ist, dass wir eine gewisse Marktpräsenz mit unseren stationären Läden haben, die zusammen ungefähr eine Fläche von 5000 Quadratmeter haben. Und natürlich mit dem Herzstück von Sport Konrad, unser Logistikzentrum, wo der neue Autostore steht, mit knapp 3.500 Quadratmetern.
Die größte Herausforderung war das natürlich mit Platz. Wenn du am Kapazitätsende bist und das Volumen nicht mehr reicht, um die Ware hier in das Lager reinzubringen und auch unseren stationären Handel zu befüllen, war natürlich für uns die Frage, was machen wir? Die Mitarbeiter hatten lange Arbeitszeiten in Form von 6 Tage Arbeiten im Winter, in der Peak Season. Peak Season von Oktober bis März hat zu einer hohen Belastung der Mitarbeiter geführt, auch beim Kommissionsarbeiten. Bis zu 25 Kilometer pro Person, was da jeder Tag gelaufen werden musste. Durch das hatten wir auch hohe Kosten.
Kardex hat bei Sport Konrad das komplette Autostore mit 15.600 Behälterplätzen geliefert, die Montage und Inbetriebssetzung. Dazu die Behälter 425 mm hoch, 16 R5 Plus Roboter, dazu Conveyor-Ports, Karussellports und Transferports. Die Wareneingangsseite ist verbunden mit Fördertechnik, die Warenausgangsseite ebenfalls mit Fördertechnik. Dazu hat Kardex noch den Volumenreduzierer geliefert, den Faltkistenaufrichter und am Anfang des Projekts die komplette Bodenaufbereitung gemacht.
Wir haben uns für die Autostore-Lösung, so wie es jetzt steht, dazu eigentlich entschieden, weil wir teilweise in manchen Bereichen im Wareneingang ein System genutzt haben, das 40 Jahre alt war und halt einfach die Prozesse viel zu manuell waren. Und dann hatten wir hier eine bestehende Halle, die wir 2013 gebaut hatten. Wir wollten an dem Standort einfach festhalten, weil wir teilweise Mitarbeiter haben, die seit 30 Jahren in der Firma sind. Und wir wollten auch keine weiteren Flächen versiegeln, weil wir einfach gewusst haben, wir kommen mit dem Standort klar. Und für das war eigentlich Autostore prädestiniert.
Wir sind viel schneller geworden in allen Bereichen, vom Wareneingang bis zum Warenausgang. Die Mitarbeiter sind mehr entlastet, weniger laufen, weniger schwere Arbeit. Wir haben unsere Kundenzufriedenheit gesteigert, weil wir 60% schneller sind wie vorher. Wir haben uns auch am Verpackungsmaterial 10 bis 20% an Kosten eingespart. Und die Mitarbeiter haben auch den Benefit, nicht mehr so lange einlagern zu müssen, weil wir früher haben wir 1,5 Stunden für 500 Teile gebraucht. Jetzt machen das 3 Leute weniger in 20 Minuten.
Wir haben uns für Kardex entschieden als Integrator und Partner, weil wir gemerkt haben bei den ersten Treffen, dass Kardex uns verstanden hat, was unsere Probleme sind im Wareneingang, im Warenausgang, in der Kommissionierung, in der Verpackung und auch das Gefühl hatten, dass Kardex uns als Partner sieht. Und dadurch war die erste Entscheidung so natürlich für Kardex. Und Kardex hat uns sehr stark geholfen bei der Transformierung des Lagers, dass wir auch energieeffizient in die nächsten Steps mit dem Lager gehen können.
All right. Just out of curiosity, any German speaker here? How's our translation? Pretty good? Okay, I didn't do that, but thank you. All right, okay. So in the summary, the Autostore for Sports Conrad, as it was explained early on, they have a very long building. Okay, so the Autostore is right over here. Okay, according to that building. So that's one good thing about Autostore is that it's very flexible. So if your building has all these columns and bins, we will work around the columns and the bins. If it's around, if you happen to have a round building, then we will build around the building, but we will maximize the space, okay? So this is the Autostore for Sports Conrad. It's about 19,000 bins, net bins location. Bin location, but net bin is about 15,651. Okay, the bin height that they use is 425 mm height. We have 3 types of bins that can be utilized inside an Autostore. Is either 220 mm height or 330 mm height, and then the tallest bin is 425 mm height. Why they use the tall bin is because of the shoes. They sell shoes. So 425 would fit many more shoes than the 330 mm bin height. Okay, they have 16 robots and 9 Autostore ports, which is what you saw earlier on in the video, which is the conveyor port, the carousel port, and then the transfer port. Kardex is not just an Autostore system integrator. We are a total solution system integrator. So some of the things that we actually did for them was also adding in the conveyor system for them, and then the folding box erector, and then the volume reducer. Because one of their problems was actually the packaging, right? So then they have this folding box erector for them. Okay, so it's a 2-level building. So we built into 2 levels. We still maintain the ground floor for them because that's where they actually do the consolidation, which is the skis, and then in the summer, which is the bicycle. Okay, so on the receiving side is on the left side of that building that I showed you just now. That's where they will, on the ground floor is where they put things that are like shoes and items that actually does not require any labeling. Then on the first floor would be then the t-shirts, jackets, and then things that require labeling. don't forget, 60 to 65% of their sales is coming from the stores. So these are things that require label, right? That's where they need to put on price tags and those sort of stuff, okay? Then the outbound, which is there where you will do the picking out from the auto store. So on the ground floor is for the orders to fulfill the stores, sending out to stores, and also for consolidation, which is skis. In the winter, that means you put on the ski binding, which is a lot of work. If you ski, the ski binding is really important. That's where you slot in your ski boots. And then bicycle, that's where then you put on the tires, consolidate things. When you buy bicycle, most people will also buy helmet, riding gloves. And then the first floor is actually where then they do strictly for e-commerce, fulfilling the orders coming in from the e-commerce side. So that kind of streamlined their processes a bit. A lot, actually, I would say, not a bit, sorry, just a lot of nonsensical words from me. So this is how it looks like. So this is then the outbound. This is the picking zone on the right side of the building. 2 levels. Like I said, the first story will be for e-commerce. The ground floor is mostly for the stores and then consolidation of big items. If I zoom in, this is how it would look like. Okay? And then this is how it would look like. This is what we call the carousel ports. Then on the receiving, which is then on the left side of the building, there is also 2 levels. There's only 1 port on the top level, and then 2 ports on the ground floor level. Okay. So this is the top level. So the bins would come up and fit to them. That's where they will inbound items, and it goes straight into the auto store. So, in summary, what were their problem? Okay. Delivery rate, which is linked to customer satisfaction, it drops to 21%. Okay, so then, sorry, it's a typing error on my end. It should be 21% from 70% before pandemic. And then what they achieve with automation will be then 83.5%. Okay, parts, you heard, or it was in the translation just now. If they have 500 parts, they need more people, and it needs to be done in about 2 hours. That's how long it takes. With automation, now they can do it less 3% and in 20 minutes. Okay. The issue with space, all this will overcome with the automation and then streamlining the space usage within the same facility. Okay. And the next thing is, of course, we talk about the Saturdays that they need to work, right? Like I say, try to relate to that problem. So they reduce the number of Saturdays that they need to work from 14 days to 5 Saturdays, right? And also the walking distance. Imagine you have to do 25 kilometers in your shift. It's pretty tiring. The welfare of the people is important, yeah? And this is the company that is about 120 over years old. Yeah, so they do care about the people. So then less walking and less Saturdays. Significant. How long did it take us for us to complete an Autostore for Sports Conrad? The challenge is winter is their peak season. So we really need to work during the summer month where it's not as busy. And we did complete it in 3 months. The start on site was in April. It went live in July. Okay. And with the Autostore, because of the work, it's actually quite a fast installation. So there were very minimal disruption to their ongoing business. We didn't need to shut down their warehouse. They didn't need to shut down their operation. It was ongoing, but with minimal disruption to their ongoing business. And yeah, and it was done in time for them to catch that up peak in the winter month. Right. So, Kardex. We have more than 4 years experience now with Autostore. We have completed more than 80 projects globally. And we have our own team in-house innovation team. So we as the Kardex, we are not just talking about automation. what we want is we will reimagine the future of automation with you because we want to empower your warehouse for tomorrow. When we talk about automation, we want to understand your current challenges, but we also want to ensure that whatever automation we're talking about is something that can be sustainable for your future growth, business growth. And that's what we do. Now, some of the new things that we have launched December last year, and it's now happening right now. We have come up with this thing called the Affordable Starter Grid for Autostore. It's a quick deployment. Our booth is just there, so we have a scale-up 3D print of the starter grid. So just come by and have a look at the model. Okay, so this starter grid is with 2 ports, as you can see over there, 4,000 bins, 4 robots, 4 chargers. And we can complete this physical on-site work would be about 1 month for installation, and you can go live basically 2 weeks later. Quick deployment, fast automation project. And it's a scalable. Autostore is always about scalability. So you can work with this 4,000 grid, maybe 2 years later, because of business growth, business needs, you want to scale it up, not a problem. Doable, with minimal disruption to your ongoing Autostore. Okay. Another great thing, if your operation is based in Singapore or in Malaysia, we want to share with you there are government grants available that you can tap on. And I would strongly suggest that you do take up this grant. We have quite a lot of consultation with the agency that is releasing these grants. So definitely, when you talk about Autostore, you will be qualified to tap on this grant. Want to know more? Come find me in C23. All right. These are then the Kardex. I did say we have in-house innovation team, right? So these are some of the innovation that we have. It's the robot cleaning station. So it's not literally cleaning the robot. You don't need to clean the robot. It's just that there are sensors there, right? So as with unless you're operating in a clean room environment, there are dust everywhere. So this is basically a sensor cleaning station where the robot would park itself there, and then there's bursts of air to take away the dust. That is the actual installation that we have in one of our projects here in Southeast Asia. Okay. This is a no-touch pick and pack. Again, it's our own solution. It helps you pick and pack things, be it in a carton box, or if you don't need to pack it, you want to just put it in the bin and bring it downstream, doable. It's a picking arm, automated picking arm. This is a video, not in our R&D center, but it's in a customer environment. Okay. Next, we have the automated bin induction. So Autostore, one of the things we need to do is when you finish building up the grid, you do need to bring in the bin into the Autostore, right? So with 4,000 bin, not a problem. We can probably induce about 2,000 bin in about 3 days. But we have came up with this idea called let's automate this process, right? So this guy, what he's doing now is first check the bin. Make sure it actually is in good condition, and then bring it in. And here's the port. So it starts reading the bin, and the bin is like your car. You have a car tag, right? So the bin has a tag. So it's scanning, it get brought into the Autostore. So this is the Autostore. Okay. Then we have this IPA. We call it the IPA. If you have followed me, well, if you have not, please do. In my LinkedIn, I do have a video. We do have an IPA in our office. We do have an Autostore demo grid in our office. So if you're based in Singapore, again, if you want to drop by in our office and start trying out the Autostore with the IPA, feel free, drop me a note. We can arrange for that. So the intuitive picking assistant is our Kardex solution. I'm going to play you the video. familiar to you guys? So the guy that is doing this appeared in the previous video about the automated bin induction. He's not an actor, he's our director of technology. So not only he and his team have to come up with the solution, they also need to do the video for us. Nice guy. So anyway, the IPA, like I said, the IPA is available in our office. It's a working product. We have it in our office. The IPA basically integrated two things, right? Which is the pick by light to improve accuracy. And also for you as a customer, when you have any of this kind of workstation, you do need to put in a monitor, right? The monitor would be then the display of the information for your picker or for your receiver, the people that is working at the port. So with the IPA, you can forget about all this IT equipment. So this integrate that projection onto the port table and then integrate with the pick by light to improve your picking accuracy. Okay. All right, I come to my last slide. So the other thing that I want to share with you, if you go into Kardex and you type in, or you go to Google, you type in Autostore calculator, you will reach this page, which then you can have a very quick calculation, and it's pretty accurate information that you will get when you input some of the data inside there. You get your ROI, projected ROI calculation, budget of an Autostore based on the country that you are, you think that Autostore will be based in, be it Singapore, United States, Europe, anywhere in Asia. Okay, so it's a quick calculation for you to see where you are with your automation project with Autostore and the projected rate of investment. Okay, so do try it out. And I'll come back to this. Any question? If you're too shy to raise your hand, then it's on my phone. You can do it without inputting your name. I don't have any question. Ah, come on. Question, feedback? I might have gone too fast, but yes, Luke.
Of you have been very precise and shared a lot of information in a very good way.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it looks like a very straightforward solution and approach, even though it's extremely complex. At least for me, looking at it from the outside, like 2,000 to 4,000 boxes, it's a lot.
Yes.
And you mentioned the out-of-the-box solution is a month and then maybe 2 weeks before it gets into operation.
Yep.
What's your typical go-live time you usually need with most clients?
Yep. Good question. So we completed a project, I won't tell you which country, but it's in Southeast Asia, with about close to 7,000 bins. And to be very specific, the material came to site in September. The physical installation, including the bin induction, and we're talking about 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the net bins, 6,789 bins, yeah. So we completed that in about 5 weeks. Then the rest is the software side, which is integration with the WMS. So that took about 3 weeks. So in September, we started the work, and the customer went live and really used the Autostore by end of November. Okay. And just like the Sports Conrad, they were busy. Without going to specific, December is Christmas season. So they really want to use the Autostore to catch that December sales and to fulfill the December orders. So, and we achieved that. Yeah. So September, October, November.
It's very impressive.
Yes. Yeah. And The customer is happy with it, and we are now talking about extension to that Autostore. Imagine, completed in November, and right now we're in a discussion to extend that Autostore 3 times.
Wow. Wow. And besides allowing the employees to take off their Saturdays, like it should be, what's the biggest USP for most of your clients? What makes a difference for them to say, let's go for this solution?
Yeah. First is the density. We use the word stop air housing. If you go to any warehouse, manual racks, perfect, love it, right? You can store big and small stuff, but did you realize the manual rack, you waste so much space in the air that you actually don't use. Manual rack, you can build it super high, and then you need to provide the aisles for your forklift. There's a lot of inefficiency on how you use your floor space. And that's where Autostore comes in, right? And I'm not saying manual rack is not good. It's great, right? But it's not meant for things that are small. Anything that can be fit into the bin of the Autostore, which is 600 by 400, and then the 3 different height, right? Then it should be inside the Autostore. Compact it. Make use of your space. Make full use of your space, because land space is not cheap. It's not cheap anymore.
Especially in Singapore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Singapore. Even in Malaysia is creeping up. Yeah. And then we talk about space usage, right? Then we also talk about throughput. I'm a big fan of e-commerce. I'm like, I hate going to the mall. I hate it, absolutely hate it, right? So I buy a lot of things online. And I want it quite fast, you know? So yeah, and if you want that throughput, and you as a business owner, you want to make sure that you actually send the right thing to your customer, Autostore would be that one solution that can achieve both for you. Okay. And when we talk about the starter grid, 4,000 bins, 2 ports. I didn't share with you what would be the throughput. It's 300 bins, 300 picks per hour with 2 operators. Now, if you do a manual process, I don't think you would get, you might get the 300 picks per hour, but you need to hire quite a big group of people to achieve that kind of throughput. And Autostore, like I said, with the starter grid, 2 operators. That's all you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get any digital questions? Did someone raise a question?
I don't think so. They're all looking at me. They're not looking at the phone, which, thank you for that. Okay. Yes.
A live question.
Yes, from the Philippines team.
What is the usual ROI for companies investing for Kardex solution?
Right, for the Autostore, right? We talk to a lot of customers. When you do our StoreX or Autostore calculator, it will give you about the cross is about 4.5.
4.5.
But I can tell you, I talk to I wouldn't say customer because they're not our customer. I would say Autostore users, yeah? 3 years, yeah. So for them, the calculation is, because they do their own ROI. And so they achieve it in 3 years, yeah. It's true, yeah? I met them last year in Malaysian exhibition. It was a funny thing, right? Because he came to me and said, Autostore is expensive. Autostore is expensive. And I'm like, really? It's a huge MNC company. I said, are you sure? It's like, are you sure it's really expensive, right? Because when you talk about price tag, let's look at the entire thing. And say, yes, but your ROI, we achieved our ROI earlier than what was calculated. And I'm like, yeah, so then don't say it's expensive because it's not true.
It's a good business case.
Yeah,
Happy
but
customers.
It's the user, not our customer yet.
Yeah.
But once you're an Autostore user, I can almost say because Autostore, go to Autostore website themselves to know more about it, right? once you're an Autostore user, you will definitely want to continue, and you will continue, because you continue by extending the grid. As I said, like we are now discussing with the customer about an extension. Yeah. And the robots work independently, so there's no single point of failure. What I didn't go into details about is some of the things that is very important if you're running an Autostore, you're operating an Autostore, or you're owning an Autostore, which is what is the availability rate, right? 99.6% uptime. I don't think there's anything that is running at 99.6. Not even an elevator. And I'm from the elevator background for 20 over years.
Okay, impressive numbers.
We love numbers, right?
Yeah. Any other question from the audience, maybe? No? Okay. Thank you for sharing the story from Kardex.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. We're at C23. Come by, drop by. Thank you.